Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the beautiful Xbox community out there and all the real gamers around the world, thank you for being a part of this special show to me, as I am a fan of this guy's work, his charisma, his humbleness. He is, like me, one who started with no coattail ability. Just got in here, believed in his craft, and started to make an impact out here in the Xbox streets. I've watched him grow his channel. And I mean, this guy, some of the videos that this guy has put out are truly remarkable. And it's the reason why I reached out to him, because I felt like this guy needs his flowers now. This guy, there's some things that this guy has put out there for all of us to be informed about. He's put out some great videos. He's broken down a lot of technical things, and I just think they're awesome. And I think, you know, it's almost unfair sometimes to have people in our community like this that don't get enough attention. That's the sad part. The great part is he was willing to come up on Di-Rrec Gaming and give me an interview about himself, because this is what we do over here. I told you, you are a part of the bottom feeding channel. We are a part of the mud, the swamp, down at the bottom. And not a lot of people like to make it look good down here. This guy is one of them. Thank you, sir, for your work all the way from Germany. My man, Boxenberger in the building, man. How are you doing, brother?
What an epic intro. Dude, I'm shaking. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm super psyched to be here today. When you reached out to me, hey, you want to be on my show? I said immediately, yes, I have to be here. You're such a positive Xbox community member. You're putting the word out. You're always fun to chat with on social media, so I had to come on your show. It's my honor to be here, and I can't wait to talk with you. Gaming the entire night for me. It's already late here in Germany. So yeah, looking forward to it, dude. Thank you so much for the invite.
No problem, man. Glad to have you, man. Glad to have you. And like I said, I'm excited to have this interview. Okay, so Boxenberger, man. Now that I got you here, man, and like I said, man, you keep yourself in a humble spirit, and I love that about you, man. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning, Boxenberger.
Yeah.
What inspired you to become a gamer?
Oh, dude, I've been gaming my entire life. I started on the OG Xbox like 30 years ago. No, not OG Xbox, pardon me. On the OG Game Boy, I meant to say that. I talked so much about Xbox today, so I'm already jumping ahead. No, I started when I was a really young kid, at the age of 6, 7, 8. I really can't remember exactly. With the OG Game Boy, that was my first proper gaming device I had. My dad had an Atari back in the days, but he wasn't too fond of letting his little son play on that. So the OG Game Boy is what got me into gaming, and from there on out, I had the NES, later the Super Nintendo, of course. My brother always had then the Sega systems in parallel. So we were a multi-console household before even Xbox and PlayStation started making consoles. So yeah, and from there on out, I basically had every console ever released. Yeah. So I my entire life, I just love gaming, talking about gaming, playing games with friends. It's always been in my DNA. So yeah. That's where it all started.
You know what, man? I think you are the very first person I'm being serious. I'm being dead serious, brother. You just broke a record. I think not in my own gaming career aspect as a gamer, but I know for direct gaming as far as just being an individual and what you said. I think that you are the first person who originated on a handheld.
Yeah,
You originated on a handheld.
that
That's
is
remarkable.
true. Yeah, that's true.
Wow, bro. So, man, you just made a legendary here. So I have an OG handheld gamer out
Handheld.
the
Yeah.
gate.
Right.
Where
Right.
his dad had the console, but you know how that was. I get it. Your dad was protective, didn't want his little son getting on it, messing it up, breaking it or something. Because those
Yeah.
consoles were expensive. They was expensive back then.
It was expensive, and a lot of the games he played on that device on that Atari were probably not for my age at the time. You know, I think that was
Right,
his main reason,
right.
and
They were
that's
more advanced. They were more advanced,
yeah,
exactly.
they were way more advanced. And so he got me a Game Boy with Tetris and Super Mario and then Zelda and stuff like that. So a little bit more kid friendly. And then since I enjoyed it so much and my brother enjoyed it a lot, we got then the NES and later the Super Nintendo and yeah,
You know,
that's just
you said something, Boxenberger, that's very unique and something that I've always been telling people. In our generation, because you're like an early 1990 guy.
I'm actually in early 80,
You're early 80s,
83.
You're my dude. That's the year I
Yeah.
started. That's the year I started. Okay. So you're like me. You are the intel of the root gamers, basically.
Yeah.
We're on the end because like Phil Spencer and them would be like the beginning guys. We're the end of that kind of generation. Like if those guys started in the early mid 70s, we didn't get it to the end, to the, like you say, the Atari kind of spec. Mine was the television, but I get you now.
Yeah.
So me and you started the same years then, 83. So big thing with me was the arcades and everything, right? With me. But you said something that's striking. People think because we talk gaming today, some people, not everybody, but some people have this misconception that because I play on my Xbox today, that's the only thing. Like I'm always been like this one console person, right? When that's not the case.
Yeah.
We are the generation of society where we wanted you to try different games. Like if you had a Sega, you wasn't the most popular kid in your neighborhood. So you was the person that invited people to play on something different.
Exactly. Especially in Germany, the Sega systems were really not popular here in Germany. That's probably because they didn't promote the systems at all. There were really zero advertisement, nothing here. I was probably the only kid at school who actually had a Sega system at home, but that made me the cool kid, yeah. And yeah, that's so true. It's not even though we are today mainly Xbox guys, I still have all the consoles, yeah, and a proper gaming PC, so I play on everything. I just have a certain platform that is my main platform. That's where I play all my multi-platform games. Still own a PS5. I have the Nintendo Switch, which I mainly use as a handheld. Yeah, I'm still loving handheld gaming.
Right.
Yeah, and I got a proper PC to play my games on. I'm enjoying Age of Empires 4 at the moment, for instance. Yeah, so I just love gaming. Doesn't mean I can't have a preference for a certain brand or a certain console. Still have them all. Still love them all. I owned in my life, I think, more than 40 different consoles and handhelds. So yeah. You're absolutely right. Even though people consider me an Xbox guy, I still have them all.
Well,
I love gaming. Yeah.
Right. Well, like I say, man, it's our history, right? It's our footprint.
Exactly.
People think that we're just these one console owners. I guess you know what? We're gonna get down to the bottom of this tonight, or today, or this afternoon, wherever you are in this world, right? But we're gonna get down. We're gonna knock this myth out. Just because I play on an Xbox doesn't mean I don't own or have had other consoles.
Yeah.
With me, I think I made it clear. I've never bought a PlayStation. I've never had to because everybody I knew had one. That was just something about me. I didn't want to buy the things that everybody else had. I always wanted to be different. But then again, it goes to other things. Like I don't like the PlayStation controller, the way it fits in my hand. And I don't always like their games. Their games bore me. But that's an opinion. That's not a fact because there's people who enjoy PlayStation games. Me, I've had too many friends to lose their account. I don't like the way Sony practices with their fan base when it comes to certain things. So I said to myself, you know what? That's the beautiful here it comes. That's the beautifulness about other companies. There's other gaming platforms out here that I can look at and say, okay, so I've invested in the Nintendos and I've invested in the Xbox. But I now in my life now, I stick to my Xbox because it has given me the best place overall, Boxenberger, overall, right?
Yeah.
Of my investment. So what do you mean legal? Like, okay, so my back compact, I don't get all of them, but I get enough because I still have my 360. So that's not killing me off, right? But I get enough back compact with my current gens from my Xbox Ones to now to suffice me. Then, you know, I get plenty of cross plays. I have a great community that Microsoft invests in. See, you have to invest in this stuff. It don't just happen just because we have consoles. This is
you have to grow. You have to invest there. You have to nurture it. Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. So just like today, we get to where we can do things like this, where we can have shows like this, where we can talk to each other across the world. There was a time when we didn't have this. So Xbox when they did party chat, this is where we would party chat. This was what we did it on Xbox. So with me, Boxenberger, I built this thing called Di-Rrec Gaming based off of all the good things that I saw of Xbox. So when you really see this is kind of like my way of saying, welcome to, if you didn't have an Xbox, let me say that. If you don't know nothing about the Xbox, this is my way of showing you how the party chat would be. We're in the party chat and we're just kicking it. We're talking games, or we might be even playing the same game. And we're just talking because that's what we did.
That's what we did. That's what the first online console experience was for me. Yeah, that was actually talking to some guy I met on Halo online. Yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I mean, I like what you said, especially in regard for, well, you say PlayStation wasn't for you. That's totally fine. I mean, taste is different. Not every game is for every gamer. Not every console is for everyone. That's totally fine. I think the good thing is that we have options out there. Yeah. And that's what I always say. I don't want any brand to, quote unquote, win the whole entire thing. Yeah, I want them to the best thing for us gamers is that they all do equally well, because that is what drives competition, and that's where we benefit from. That's why we have options. That's why we can choose what we personally prefer. I love the PlayStation exclusives. I grew up with a lot of them. I still enjoy playing them. I like my PlayStation console. I really do. It's just for me, I personally prefer the controller more on the Xbox side. I like the online system more. And to be frank, I have a lot more friends on Xbox. Yeah, that's simply why I lean towards the Xbox. They all offer different experience. I mean, over the recent years, definitely Game Pass is a big advantage on the Xbox side, in my opinion. But yeah, so there's a lot of things out there we can choose from. Yeah, we can choose the more kid-friendly version with the Nintendo consoles. Still, to this day, I enjoy their games. I love playing Zelda and Mario and whatnot. Yeah. So I just love that there are options out there, and that's an important thing. And like you said, the great thing about this entire gaming thing is actually the community, the people you get to hang out with, to talk to. I mean, look at us here, yeah, sitting across the world, me in Germany, you in the US, on the other side of the planet, and we're just hanging out, talking about what we like and enjoy. That's just awesome.
It's easy, right, Boxenberger?
Yeah,
It's
it
just
is.
easy. And like you said, man, to go back on what you said about, listen, nobody wants to have a company to rule out, and there's no other options. That's not what makes gaming great. But we're not here to say we love the competition, right? We love the fact that there's a first place, second place, third place, right? There's places. And then after that, if you don't even want to look at it like that, that's still great. But we understand that everybody cannot always be on top. And ultimately, the gamers are not the ones that ultimately make these companies go under. Normally, it's the company's decision makings that they do that just doesn't work right within the community at the time. So the real goal with these companies, and we see it with Xbox. We'll even talk about Xbox right now. The Xbox One, to me, was a console that just didn't get the right proper management push underneath it that actually made sense with the community at that time. And so it was just always something. It just felt like when I had the Xbox One, I was always fighting an uphill battle. It was always something like they just couldn't get it right. Every time something would come out, something else would be taken away. Something else come out, something else would be taken away. And you just couldn't ever, it just seemed like you stuck into it if you was just a true Xbox fan and you just really loved Xbox. You stuck through it. I mean, but I can't really get mad at people. And I know some that were Xbox fans that was just like, you know what, man, I'm going to PlayStation this generation and I got it. I get it, And that's true to some degree with gamers. And that's the beauty of having different platforms, because just think, if we only had one platform and a platform was not really in tune with the community at that time, within the culture of that community at the time, where are we going to go? Then we're really putting up with just nonsense, So there's a reason why we have a PlayStation, we have a Nintendo, and we have an Xbox, and we have a Stadia. These things are good. And we have PC. Let's not forget PC. But all these things are good because now you're starting to see that, yes, these companies all have different visions, right?
Yeah.
The thing is, now you have to salute Nintendo, because Nintendo now is officially the last of the dying breed, right? Nintendo is so self-sufficient now. It doesn't even need the PC market. And you gotta tip your hat off, because it's only like the truest console left.
It's kind of weird, yeah. They're living in their own bubble. I don't know how they do it, but somehow they manage. Yeah, true.
You're right. It's how they manage. And then, but when you think about it, it's good to have somebody like Boxenberger, because there's no fronting around this guy. But when you think about it, right, it's people like Boxenberger is why Nintendo never had to change. See, Nintendo shows you what brand loyalty looks like. I know people use brand loyalty as a negative thing, right? Look, I get it. On social media, we jab at people. We say stuff, corporate slaves and all of this. But that's just because people are in their feelings. Look, I'm not calling nobody names, corporate slaves, or, oh, you're a loyalist and all of this stuff. I don't do the corny stuff here. I don't say stuff like, oh, you're bickering over a plastic box and all of this. I have too much respect. I've said this before. I have too much respect for the gaming culture to call things like consoles plastic boxes, when people put their effort in their minds to build these great things, these capacitors, resistors, and these motherboards and all this stuff that goes into making a console. It's more than just a plastic box. But to your defense, it was people like you and me, but I wasn't an OG handheld. So I'm giving you the credit. But people like you, and there's massive people, millions of gamers like you, right, that took on that Game Boy. And Game Boy became a movement. The Game Boy, dude, I remember kids getting in trouble in school, pulling out that Game Boy out of their backpack, getting caught with it.
I remember a point in school where they forbid these handhelds on the school.
Yeah. That's right.
We had that.
We would get in trouble for having them.
Yeah.
And that became a culture. It became a rebellious thing. Having a handheld was like being a skateboarder,
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. You was a rebel. Yeah. And so you was part of that movement. You're one of the OGs of that. And it grew. Nintendo, that thing at one time was their number one moneymaker. When you think about it, that handheld was selling more than their consoles at one time. That's ridiculous.
It did.
Then you also got to think, Boxenberger is from the other side of the globe. So he's more closer to our Oriental friends than I am. So his side of the globe is mixed with the Orient. The Orient is big over there on his side of the globe. And so when you think about all those people over there, Nintendo uses my side of the globe as just hustle money. They don't fear that if they don't sell well in the West, that they're just going to fall off the map. They have taken care of their spot in the globe to where they don't even have to cut a check for PC. And to me, that's incredible for a company that's been out that long, and they don't even have the worries or concerns that Microsoft and PlayStation have when it comes to pushing their games out more. That's just ridiculous to me.
Simply doing something unique, and that, again, that is what we said. It's the diversity. It's the different options. Every company offers now something different to their customers, and I love that. And Nintendo is doing well. I'm glad. Still have a lot of nostalgia, obviously, for a lot of their brands. So, good thing. It's a good thing.
If it wasn't for Nintendo, Boxenberger, we wouldn't have Mario underwear, Mario T-shirt.
Exactly.
Look how
you know what the funny thing is now? Now I'm playing Mario Kart with my kids. Yeah, I
there you go.
2 boys now. Yeah, they are 4 as of yesterday. My youngest turned 4 yesterday, and my bigger son is 5, so they're not that far apart. And I'm sitting here playing Mario Kart with them, and Odyssey. The other day, I introduced my bigger son to my older son to Mario Odyssey and stuff like that. And I'm still having a blast with those IPs. So it's a great thing.
Yeah, because you get to live it twice with Nintendo, and Nintendo.
Yeah,
that's what makes Nintendo great. Okay, they have that part of your life that becomes a full circle one day, because Mario relates to the old and the little. You know, you can put a little kid on Mario. You can still be an older gamer and still play Mario. You know, it's just
exactly.
It's one of those things, and it's where I try to tell people in the Xbox community: listen, you don't get rid of your mascots. You don't get rid of Master Chief. We had a few of those little characters where Conqueror. I like Conqueror. I like Blitz and things like that. That deserve, those type of characters deserve to be seen. They deserve to be seen because they outlast lifetimes. You mess around and you find yourself replaying these type of games with your kids.
Yeah.
And I think Microsoft more than ever has a perfect opportunity to make those kind of little special games like that remarkable again. We need something like that to come full circle.
Absolutely.
I think when Nintendo,
do you think the Master Chief can do that? Halo can do that with Halo Infinite?
Oh yeah. Halo's gonna do it. And you want to know what's funny? It's how mature. See, that's what people don't understand. Halo was on more of a mature level, but we were young when we played that game. We were teenagers. So some of us were like, we were teenagers, man, or like early in our 20s when we played that game. So some of us got families now. Kids are, some of us may have 12-year-old kids and stuff. You get a chance to show them this. You can
do that again.
Right now, go through Master Chief Collection with your children and show them just how great it was,
Yeah, that is so true. I talked about this on other podcasts. The thing is about Halo Infinite, what I really want to see from Halo Infinite is they have to bridge that gap. They have to give us, the old guys, that played the first Halo 20 years ago in their youth, that nostalgia feeling. But they also have to bring in an entire new generation of gamers that didn't grow up with the Master Chief, that don't have the nostalgia for it, the passion for it. They got to bring them in as well. And that's why I'm really excited for Halo Infinite, to see how they do it. Yeah, they can't just simply do a sequel to Halo 5, because the lore and everything, the entire universe is way too complex now. Yeah, for a new guy. If you haven't played Halo so far, let's say you're a kid at, let's say, 14 years now. Yeah, you were like 8 when Halo 5 released and probably didn't play it.
So true.
Yeah.
Keep going, brother.
So
you're
you're 14 years old now. You start up Halo Infinite. How do you understand what's going on? Yeah. So that's really the thing that 343 needs to nail. They need to make it accessible, approachable, understandable for newcomers, people. Also, a lot of maybe previously PlayStation only gamers come over now to Xbox. We've seen it. Yeah, you're on social media. You know how many gamers start to come as new gamers into the Xbox ecosystem. For them also, Halo, new franchise, what is going on? They need to make that understandable, but they also have to satisfy you, me, us, the hardcore gamers, the passionate fans that have been playing the franchise for 20 years now.
right.
We also need to be satisfied. And that's really a difficulty. And I wonder how they will do that. But I think that's the most challenging thing for 343. And I'm looking forward to see what they will do with it.
That's right, brother. Because we know it's extremely hard to keep Halo at a high peak. Halo's been at a high peak since its existence. You know, it's crazy how they've been able to maintain that. I think, and like I said, we don't know, but I like the way Gears 4 or Gears 5 did with Gears 4. You remember when Gears 5 came out, in the beginning of the game, it gave you the story. It gave you Gears, right, and it led you up. So let's just say if Gears 5 was your very first Gears of War experience, you never played the other Gears, at least you knew what had taken place.
Yeah.
To me, do you know how galactic it would be if we played the first 10 to 15 minutes of that game, you know, just we're watching, just going through little small little elements to lead us up to Halo Infinite, and then the game starts up. Do you know how galactic that would be?
That would be awesome.
That would be
would be awesome. I think
blow our minds away.
I've recently I've heard someone else talk about something similar. He had I can't remember who it was. Someone on a podcast. So don't give me the credit for that. But the idea is genius. To have like a 30 to 1 hour kind of tutorial that isn't a tutorial per se, but that where you recap the franchise from the start to where Halo Infinite kicks off. Yeah, and it's squeezed in not in a video, because a video, I don't think a video does the same trick. Yeah. Because if you watch like a 5-minute summary video, you can do that on YouTube, yeah.
Right.
You don't get what is going on. But if you squeeze that into, let's say, 1 hour, yeah, where you play some kind of replay in tutorial format, yeah.
Right, where you
the story so far, that would be awesome. Yeah.
Right, where you can't lose. It's just something getting you through to make you understand this is what happened. That led to this. This what happened that led to that. I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get exactly.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
So,
absolutely.
Boxenberger, as you was growing up, right?
Yeah.
In Germany, I want you to explain the culture of gaming in Germany. What was the culture of gaming in Germany like for you as a kid?
Yeah, it was completely different than in the US, to be honest. We didn't have arcades, for instance. There were simply no arcade in Germany. Period. I was my first arcade. Was when I was an exchange student in the UK. Yeah, that was the first time I entered an arcade. So for us, it was mainly console gaming and especially PC gaming. PC gaming is to this day the biggest market here in Germany. The thing really was back in the time, a lot of the console manufacturers, Sega for instance, they didn't really care for localization. So growing up, a lot of gamers simply didn't pick up the Sega consoles because a lot of the games were not localized. There was basically zero advertisement for it. And the only company who did that was basically Nintendo. Even the first PlayStation, when it came out, it was really poorly localized. Sony relatively quickly realized how important that localization thing actually is. They changed that, and that made them the most successful console over here. Xbox didn't realize it until 2 years ago. Yeah, you have to understand, when the OG Xbox came out, there was really zero advertisement around here. Nobody knew. I went into a GameStop. When I wanted to buy my first Xbox, I went into a GameStop and I said, "Hey, I want to buy an Xbox." And the guy working there asked me, "What's an Xbox?" It was really that poorly known here in Germany. And that carried over through the 360 era, well into the Xbox 2 generation, until Microsoft really started to advertise and market their product over here. And now they're picking up a lot of pace, but that's why PlayStation outsold Xbox in Europe, or especially in Germany, 5-1. Yeah, so I know in the US it's kind of like 2-1. Here it is like 5-1. So that's just shows you how big the market dominance was, and a lot of that goes back to localization issues and local and marketing and stuff like that. So me growing up, it was mainly console gaming, and then I was a big PC guy, well into my 20s. And actually, the OG Xbox is the console when I decided to switch to my main gaming platform from PC to console. It was actually the Morrowind experience that made me realize, wow, I can have a full PC like gaming experience on a console. That was mind-blowing to me. Yeah, I was a huge fan of these big RPGs. I played so many countless hours, Diablo 2, of course, but also the Gothic games. I don't know whether you're familiar with those. Yeah, I played them all, loved them. Games like that really were my bag. And yeah, when I got the OG Xbox, and I played Morrowind, I really had the feeling, okay, I can have that full gaming experience, that I can have that on a console. Also, Halo did a lot for that, because Halo was, to this day, I think, the first shooter that actually delivered a similar experience than you can get on PC with a first-person shooter. I know there were games like, let's say, GoldenEye on the N64. I love that game, but it was obvious that it isn't the same experience than a shooter like Doom on PC. You know what I mean? And Halo actually was that shooter experience, and that actually was what made or convinced me with the Xbox brand. And ever since, I'm a big fan. Yeah. I still had all the PlayStation consoles. You kind of had to have those here in Germany. Yeah, everyone had a PlayStation console, so you had to have one as well. I was really the outsider with the Xbox, but a lot of people I knew also switched over to the Xbox during the 360 generation, when they saw what was offered there with games like Fable, yeah, and Gears, and obviously Halo and stuff like that. So yeah, that's basically a short summary of my gaming experience. Growing up here, PC gaming was really, or still really is, big, simply because of the localization thing. Yeah.
Yeah, man. What was your favorite RPG game? I didn't know if you could. I didn't know. If
Oh, yeah, I see the chat.
There you go. Yeah.
I just during talking. During talking, I usually don't read the chat. That's what's my favorite RPG? Okay, I think The Witcher 3. Yeah, definitely.
Oh man, you just said it for me too, brother. Do you know something, Boxenberger? I was a Gears of War guy, right? I was a shooter kind of guy, and I put years into that franchise, years, competitiveness, and console, campaign, multiplayer, and competitiveness, right? And the thing about it was, that's the game that really took me to another place to make me appreciate, slow it down, enjoy the story, enjoy the artwork, enjoy the overall aspect of just longevity and consistency of a game. And
yeah, that game,
I always loved
that. Yeah, I always love those. That's why I love RPGs. I'm a huge RPG fan. Yeah. I love to immerse myself into a world, into a story, into characters. I just love that, and that's why I'm a big fan. I could also easily say Skyrim. Skyrim is also super fantastic. There's a super old one. I don't know if you know that game. It's on the Super Nintendo, actually. A Secret of Evermore. It's still to this day one of my absolute favorite games. I play that game once a year, still. Yeah, for like it's out for 25 years now or so. I still play that once a year. I love it. RPGs are really my thing. But The Witcher 3 is just, yeah, it is an outstanding game. They did basically everything right with it. Yeah, the story, the characters, the quest design. I think about the Red Baron or something like that. What other game has achieved something like that? So yeah, I think I gotta give it to The Witcher.
It defined action RPG, man. Like, you know, it was so great to me. I'm gonna be honest with you. When I finished The Witcher 3, I was so compelled. And it was one of those games where it makes you mad when you beat it. Okay.
Yeah.
You beat it and you're like, man, I can't play this game anymore. Like it's over with,
yeah.
right?
You kind of feel empty because
you felt,
you know,
so
whatever else you gotta pick up, it's just not the same.
It didn't compare.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It didn't compare. And I was yearning for that feeling, right? I became a fiend. And Shadow of Mordor came out. And I remember going and getting it and playing it. And I was just like, dude, if it wasn't, I always hold Witcher 3 up high because I said Witcher 3 was the game that took me out of my area, out of my comfort zone. And I'll never forget that game because coming into the Xbox One, I had played Dead Rising 3, which I love, right? I played Rise Son of Rome, which I loved. I played the Force of 5. I did the Master Chief. I did the Titanfall, which I loved. But it wasn't until I got to that Witcher 3, and that's crazy because it was a third-party game. But like we said, it doesn't matter. Game is a great game. And
absolutely. The Witcher 3 is, I think it was that game that I thought it was the first next-gen experience, you know. Now I would say old-gen experience. That's I know Rise looked
ultimate third-party next generational experience. I'll give it to you on that.
Yeah,
we'll give it some respect.
I mean, you know, Rise was awesome, and the graphics are still really good. Yeah, they blew me away. Obviously, those graphics were not possible on the 360, but from a game design perspective, everything we made until The Witcher was better looking than on the 360, but from a game design point of view, all these games could have been possible on the 360. A lot of them were, because a cross-generation thing existed also back in those days. Yeah, so when we had The Witcher 3, this was really the first game where I thought, okay, that was definitely not possible on the old console. So, yeah, amazing game.
So true, amazing game. That's crazy you said that, man. So, as you're growing up, right? As you're growing up, as you get into the high schools and stuff, what was the game that was for you in high school? As you're coming on into the adulthood, before you
Unreal Tournament, the OG Unreal Tournament. That was definitely the game we played back in those days. And Diablo, the first one. Yeah. Also,
how was it? It was when you was just playing an Xbox, you know, the marketing was poor there and everything.
Yeah.
So it was. So you had that. You relived that Sega Genesis type of thing again, where you was only the few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know how I got to the Xbox? I have to tell that story. That probably gives you a little understanding of how poorly that console was known. I wasn't on the Xbox until I want to say 2003. So 2 years or so after the Xbox actually launched. We heard about it. Yeah, there is a console from Microsoft over in the US, but yeah, that's about it. Yeah, and I was just starting at the university and lived in a shared apartment. And my roommate came home. To this day, I don't know where he got the console from, but he brought home the Xbox, the OG Xbox, that big thing, yeah, with the Duke, you know, that big controller, and said, "Look, this is the console we heard, yeah, about. That's this Xbox thing." And we hooked it up to our TV, yeah, started to play. We ordered some pizza. We had a couple of beers, and we started Halo, obviously, co-op. So, and after like playing for 30 minutes, probably an hour or something like that, his brand new girlfriend called. And he, I have to go. I said, okay. And then I started to play on my own. I had a pizza there, I had beer there, and I played through the entire night until it was morning, and he came back home. Yeah, I was playing like 12 hours straight. I fell so in love with Halo. I played through the entire game that night, well until the morning, and and from there on out, I said, "Oh, I need to get that console." And then it took me a while to find one, to actually buy one, because the typical stores like GameStop, they didn't sell them. It was really weird. They didn't start to sell properly the consoles until the Xbox 360 came out. Yeah, so it took me a while till I found one. But yeah, that made me an Xbox gamer.
And then, then, when did you get an Xbox 360?
At launch.
Honestly, guys, listen. This guy is late for this guy. What this guy is doing is remarkable. I'm not here to make this. Is not going to be a long, drawn out 2-hour show. This is more of an interview with Boxenberger, just giving him his flowers, man. He's one of the guys I respect.
Oh, you're making me blush here.
Yeah, I'm just walking through his life. He's sharing a little bit of his life with me, to y'all. And when we get done, we'll get done. But I'm not trying to hold him up long, because I know, he's got to get some rest, man. And probably, what time is it over there where you at, Boxenberger?
It's 9 p.m. right now.
Okay, so, not too bad.
So not too bad. Not too bad.
You're actually okay. So you're 7 hours ahead of me. Okay,
7 hours. Yeah.
No, that's it. That's weird, man. I thought you would be more. Yeah, I really thought you would be more. Yeah, it's not too bad then.
Too bad. 7 hours is doable. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not too bad. We're in the same day. Exactly. Oh, okay, good, man. I thought it might have been late,
No, not that late. Yeah, no, it's just I have to usually get up at 5 a.m. in the morning, to go to work. That's always my limit. So I have this rule, where I really try to go to bed at like 10:30. That's usually my time where I go to bed. So. But that means we are good for another hour at least, so no problem, dude.
Yeah, what got you into the 360? When was it? When did you get to the 360? And Distinctive wants to know, what's your gamer tag? I guess
Boxenberger everywhere, on Xbox, PlayStation, everywhere. You can find me on the Boxenberger, on YouTube, Twitter, everywhere.
There it is.
Very simple.
And listen, if you need to know more specifics, or just want to know how he actually spells it out, I guess is exactly how he has it up there. But you can also hit him his DM if you just really want to get his assurance on if that's correct or not. So
the DMs are always open. Anyone can hit me up. I'm always open to talk gaming and stuff around that. So no problem.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what got me into 360, dude? I was hooked on the Xbox. I played tons of Halo 2. Halo 2 actually came out kind of like 2 weeks after I finally found my my own Xbox. Yeah. So yeah, I played tons of Morrowind. I already said that, and a lot of other games on the OG Xbox. Basically, at the time we didn't have that much money in our shared apartment, so we usually bought the games, played them, turned them in, got a new game. So that's how we rolled. Yeah, and then the 360 I got directly at launch. I was lucky enough to get one. They were very limited here in Germany. The availability was very limited. But I was lucky enough to get one. It was awesome. That was really a mind-blowing experience to have that console. Yeah. And from there on out, I was one of the lucky ones that got in 360 that didn't have the red ring of death. Yeah, I never had the red ring of death, but
Yeah, me neither.
unfortunately, yeah, that's cool. I hardly find people who didn't have one. So
Right.
no, and unfortunately, I dropped my Xbox 360, the launch day one, when I moved. Then I got as a replacement, I got the Gears 3 custom console, if you remember that.
You did too. I did too.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was such an awesome
It was, bro. It
console with the
was.
Lancer sound. Yeah, where
It
you
was, brother. And the controllers are what we have today. They were ahead of the game with the deep dish button, the deep dish
Yeah.
D button, and you can pull it up. You can
Yeah.
pull it up and push it down, make it go down or push it up. It was awesome.
That was
It was a
awesome.
must
Yeah.
have for me, bro. With my competitions, listen, those controllers were so great. I'm talking about playing competitive for 3.5 years before they finally broke. That's
Absolutely.
how much torture
Yeah.
I put on those controllers. I want everybody to know just how tough they were. They didn't start
Yeah.
falling apart until 3.5 years later. And I'm talking on a competitive level, not just, da 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 da. I'm talking
Yeah.
mashing and
Oh,
those
quality.
controllers were built to last, man.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude. And then from there on out, Xbox One also day one purchase. Obviously, Xbox One X day one purchase, and now of course Series X day one purchase, and same by the way for the PlayStation consoles. Yeah, I also had those all at launch. Yeah, except the PS4 Pro. I didn't get the PS4 Pro for 2 or 3 months after launch. Yeah, but that's basically it. From there on out, I was a big fan of the brand. I had to switch my account about.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, because my first Xbox account actually got banned.
What happened?
Because dude, you don't want to know. No, the thing is, we have Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein is or was back in the days actually forbidden here in Germany. Yeah,
I can believe it. Yeah,
that was not allowed here. So what I did
hold on. You know what? Touch on that. That's something that I don't think people understand. These are some things that actually happen. Look, every country has its own rules, regulations, and laws.
Exactly.
Every
And Germany
everything
actually is very
accessible.
Germany is actually very restrictive when it comes to gore. Yeah, Doom, also an example. The first Doom games were not allowed in Germany. They were forbidden. And the first 2 Gears games, Gears 1 and 2, were not allowed to in Germany back in the days. And about 15, 20 years ago, they were really strict about that. Actually, they started to be a bit more liberate with it probably 5 years ago, I want to say, something around that. There was a big change in our government system, and then they now they are way more, how do you say that in English? They allow a lot more gore in games, but that was really hard. Gears 1, for instance, I was not able to purchase that in Germany. Back in the days, I visited my cousin who actually lived at the time in the US, and I bought a copy there and brought it over. So that's how I got my first Gears game. Yeah, but they were not allowed to sell in Germany, and with the Wolfenstein games, they were really restrictive. Yeah, because in Germany to this day you are not allowed to depict the what's the English word for the Nazi symbol?
The swastika.
Swastika, yeah, exactly. You are not allowed to depict that in a movie or a book.
Brother.
Or
that's
period.
Yeah, man. Y'all ain't playing with that. You know what? Let me tell you something, man. This is what, and we as Americans, bro, it's fun and games over here. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie, bro. Yeah. We have a hard time with race. We have a hard time with reality. We feel entitled. We're spoiled little brats over here. And so what we do is, instead of using our politics, our power, which is really from us anyway, it has become a place where we embed our emotions on everyone. Like a group of people want the way they see things for it to be for everyone. But that's That's not how the world works. If you want something to be done right in a good place, then you just do good things. Good things work in an individual aspect. They don't work as a collective movement. No, nothing good is a gang or affiliation to something. It's not like that. Kids are here because kids are considered additions to a family, right? The husband and the wife is considered the family. Kids are blessings. Kids are additions. So whether a mother or whether a man or a woman has kids, that doesn't determine what the word family means. Family means the husband and the wife. Kids are additions, right? When you look at things in the world, some countries really just don't play around with stuff. They attack the things that kind of matter the most because they understand the end result of things. It's not so much that they base it on emotional feelings and things. And I'm not talking about everything, Boxenberger. I'm just talking about on this type of sense. We have it over here where people can wave the swastika.
Yeah.
We have it over here where people, oh, you have the right to do, but what that causes chaos because you think at some point in time, adults would act like adults. When you see people doing stuff like that, that's childish. Yeah. And as a government, you don't leave childish acts to the people. We have to have a government where it establishes something in a mature way. So when you said, hey, listen, a game like Wolfenstein, we couldn't play over here because the fact in our country, we don't throw the swastika up for advertisement. We don't even give it a voice. And the truth be told, Boxenberger, it doesn't deserve it. It doesn't deserve attention. Millions of people have died under that symbol.
Exactly.
And it's out of respect. It's respect,
Absolutely. Yeah, and our government here is still very strict about that, which I think actually it's kind of a good thing. It's a dark past in our it's a dark time in our past, and I think it's more than respectful that we don't use it for entertainment products. So that's basically the thinking about behind that. And yeah, at the end of the Xbox 360 generation, so probably like 10 years ago now, something like that, 11 years, 12 years, I don't know exactly, I actually switched my region to the UK. Yeah,
oh, did you?
So I can buy Wolfenstein because everybody was talking about Wolfenstein. Yeah, and I switched the region.
Tell us the secret about this, man. You lost a lot of people, so let them know what you're doing. I know what you're doing.
Yeah, so I switched the region from Germany to UK. So I got access to the Xbox 360 store in the UK. Bought Wolfenstein, and then my account got banned. So I had to make a new one. That's basically why my account is only like 12 years old or something like that now. Yeah. You still there? Hey, can you still hear me?
Oh, forgive me, boss. I had to get on my son real quick.
No.
Yo, he has to unload the dishwasher. That was like a big deal. And his mama came in here to tell me, and I'm like, you only got to do one thing. You don't even make the bed up. She's telling you to unload the dishwasher. Unload the dishwasher.
we're not allowing our kids to touch a dishwasher. We had a bad experience about that. They always have to clear to open up the dry cleaner and everything.
Yes,
with the laundry. They help with the laundry.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
No
man.
problem. I thought
Dizzy.
because I just got a message about a bad Wi-Fi connection. So I thought I
Oh, don't
lost you.
worry,
That
brother. You've been good. And
no
listen,
good.
hey, a warning. If something was to happen to Boxenberger, I got enough footage for my man. Like I said, bear with him. He's over there in Germany. We're connecting. We're Xbox fans. It's a family. We're showing the beauty of it all. And listen, no, don't feel bad. I understand things happen, but we're here to give him flowers right now, man. Just want to tell you, brother, before anything bad happens, continue to keep doing the great work that you're doing. Listen,
Thank you.
for the sake of me, brother,
Yeah.
keep breaking down those videos like you do. We need more. See, the difference is this, man. You're coming at it in a way of a gamer, in a way like us. You sound like us. See, I keep telling people, to me, it's all about the language. So with me, I chose to just echo. I chose to echo the Xbox streets. I know that there's people out here that feel a certain type of way, and sometimes they're right. But because they don't have platforms like me and you do, they don't really, nobody looks at them. Nobody takes them into consideration. So for me with Di-Rrec Gaming, it was about that. That was my lane. That was my road. You know, I just want to be a voice of the voices, the ones that don't have a platform. And hey, if you're brave enough, because I know everybody don't like to be on the mic and speak. But if you're brave enough to come, to want to get your word out, come on. Because I like doing this. I'm a fan of the Xbox fans. This platform I made for them. Hey, you want to come up here? As long as you talk like you got some sense, hey man, I'll sit back, have myself on mute, let you have at it. You know, I'd rather be a listener.
Yeah.
But
no,
man, keep doing what you're doing, brother.
Thank you so much for the encouragement, man. That truly means a lot. I try to put in a lot of work into my videos, and I do it actually because of the. Thank you,
dude. You can see it, and sometimes I watched one video, and when you was done, as a content creator, see, I try not to, like with me, I'm like this. My method is, it's more about what we're saying than it is all the flashy lights and the firecrackers popping in the background. Listen to what we bring into the table. That's more with me, because I have to show myself like them, right? If I'm representing a community that doesn't have, I don't need to look like I have. I don't need to act like I got something and they don't. I need to be just like them, right? But show that, hey, you don't have to have much if you just want to be heard. So I take pride and enjoyment of it, even though other people may think, it's a method to this. It's a method to why. That's just where I want to be right now. But I watched one of your videos, and I'm telling you, brother, after it was done, I was tired. I was like, dude, I can only imagine what this guy went through to make such a great video. It was thorough. You broke it down. I remember that Di-Rrec video was just, dude, it's unmatched. It's literally unmatched because you can actually watch that video, fact check what you're saying. And actually, you're right. You was right. Everything you said in that video, there wasn't an error at all. And I was like, I don't understand how the Xbox community cannot appreciate something like this. We have to get away from thinking that just because somebody may not have low subscribers means they're not making good content. That's not true.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all.
Right. There's nothing wrong with supporting them, because when you're supporting them, it gives them the more courage. It gives them the more access to get better stuff, to do better. Because when there's no reason to do all of this if nobody's going to support me, you gotta make a content creator feel like, hey, it's worth me going and investing more, you know, and getting more and more and more, because my crowd is supporting me. You're doing it for them. It's not about you.
No, you know? No, it's because of community. That's what actually got me into content creation. Yeah, I always had so many awesome discussions on either podcasts and in forums and on social media with the community. And I thought, okay, I want to take it one step further and give something back. Yeah, I started with these. I don't want to say educational videos, but kind of like them, yeah. So I just didn't want to go out and say, okay, I don't know, for instance, mesh shaders in Xbox, in the Xbox Series X are awesome. They will do great things. We all know that. But I also wanted to explain a little bit the technical background. What are they actually doing, and why are they doing great things? Yeah, and that's my approach to it. And the reward is really fantastic discussions with the community. That's the most rewarding thing, when people just put a comment, ask a question, give their thoughts on stuff. That's why I do it. I can see the same here happening in the chat. Yeah, people just asking questions, talking games. That's what it's all about. And like you said, a ton of the content creators I watch don't have that many subscribers. Yeah, some of the best podcasts out there are in the triple digits numbers of subscribers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't have to have the 100K subscriber count to make good content. There are really positive content creators out there. And yeah, the thing is what you said about the appreciation. I sometimes have the feeling, yeah, if I would go more in the console direction, I probably would grow faster.
You know what? You know what you're about to say, man.
Yeah.
Right. If you want to be corny, goofy all the time, I guess you're right, brother.
Yeah, but that's not me. Yeah. I don't do console wars. I love console gaming or gaming in general too much.
We do the articulate. That you know what's funny, what you know where we're leaning to. But when we talk about the console wars today, when we say we don't do that one, it's the silliness that you see on. I want to make that clear. It's the silliness that you see on social media where people are actually making fun of people. People are actually trolling people all day long, and it's not even got anything to do with gaming. When it gets to that point, yeah, I don't want to be a part of that. Now, I can talk about the real console war. We can have a discussion on the capabilities all day. That's the real console war. We can do that all day because that has something to do with gaming. But the silliness of it, I'm with you, Boxenberger. It's the silliness has gotten old. You know, it had its day. Put it like that. It had its proper day in society. But today, we're in a new generation. Today, we've never seen Microsoft like this ever. I've never seen Microsoft where they're hitting it right on all cylinders, man. Everything, dude, everything Microsoft is doing is turning gold. Even a fridge, a mini fridge.
Oh, yeah. Did you get one?
Come on. It's just crazy out here. Like, this Xbox train right now is worth getting on, people. I'm telling y'all, like, don't even worry if you don't get like with me, I'm not gonna lie, I wanted the Halo limited edition, right?
Did you get one?
Then I had to get a reality check. I reality checked myself. I said, you know what, Legal, you never really had any of the Halo consoles, you know, any of them special consoles. Now I had the controllers and things, but I never had the consoles because I always had the Gears of War ones. So to me now, to all the guys up there in Xbox headquarters and stuff, after this show, I'm gonna put up a tweet and just say, you know what, I'm gonna wait for that awesome Gears of War Xbox One X edition, Xbox Series X edition, because I know it's coming, bro. It's got to be celebrated. You're talking about the 15-year anniversary of Gears of War, and let's not forget that it's the 20th year of Halo and Xbox, but it's also the 15th year of Gears of War. All in the same year. Think about that.
Crazy year.
It's one crazy year.
One heck of a crazy year, indeed. No, the thing is, you're absolutely right. Xbox is in a better place than they've ever been right now. And I think we all see that already, and they are just getting started. There's so much coming over the course of the next 2, 3, 4 years. That we already know of, that just is a complete different story than the Xbox One generation. And I think you will see that the Xbox community is going to grow over the course of this generation, obviously. And I had a discussion with Mr. Boomstick about that on one of his shows. The question really is, where will we be when this generation ends? How will the communities look like? Yeah, because there's so much happening. Not just more people are coming in, also the way how we interact. If you think about it, when the Xbox One generation started in 2013, social media wasn't the same like it is today. Yeah, obviously there were Facebook and stuff like that, but at that time I didn't talk on Facebook about gaming. I had my diehard nerd forums to talk about that, but that's about it. And a lot of the way how we talk about games, yeah, these kind of podcast shows didn't exist on YouTube in 2013.
You know, you said something, man. And like I said, shout out to Boomstick. Shout out to Boomstick, man, for
Shout out, yeah.
backpacking you, coming down and allowing you to be heard on his platform as well. That got you going to where your platform. Shout out to him for that, because that's character. And listen, Boomstick isn't this top notch, all high YouTuber as well, but he's enough to where he's enough where he's impacting, and for him to do that is an example of how we all should do, especially when you see somebody who's good. Especially when you see somebody who's good, that's the key. You know, be selective, be very good at your selective, and he was selective for seeing you, man. So shout out to Boomstick for that. But to go back to what you were saying, man, when you said we had talks about the community, that told me right there that y'all care about what the impact that y'all want to leave behind. Now, look, I have the same kind of talks to some of my comrades, the same kind of talks. And I'm at the point where, you know what, if nothing else, I'm here for my sons. My sons are gamers, you know, and they look at their dad. So what am I leaving for them? Let's just say when it's all said and done, hey, man, I want my sons listening to me. I feel like, hey, I'm bringing something to the table. So I don't want them out here listening to these goofy guys, these clowns out here, because, you know, they got these likes and dislikes for being silly, like Boxenberger was saying. Some of us, let me be clear. Some of us are just true to our craft and true to ourselves. And we ain't going to sell out for something like this. This is, man, listen, kudos if you make it on YouTube, right? Nothing but respect. I knock nobody's hustle.
It's hard. It's hard. Right. Yeah. So
let me say this. I don't knock nobody's hustle. But here's the thing that I know for a fact. I'm not changing who I am to do that. And I'm not doing it because it's in everybody to do that. So if I stay grounded, if you know, you stick to what you want to do, Boxenberger, and you know this is what I want to do and this is how I'm going to be, you reap what you sow, man. We were talking about this on another channel. You reap what you sow. So, you know, success is measured by failures, right? It's a 50% of failure, 50% of success. Why do we have health? Why do we want to go work out? Because we know illness is right around the corner. Why do we want to succeed? Because we know failure is right around the corner. Why we want to live to our fullest? Because we know death is right around the corner. So it's not like we sit up here as human beings and we don't know what the Chinese would consider the yin and the yang. We know what the yin and the yang is. So but when you decide to be something more than yourself, that's playing yourself. Because at the end of the day, when you sign off and tell everybody thanks for that show, that's the real you. Exactly. The real you. But see, with us, you're seeing the real us. This is really me.
Yeah.
The
same here. You see
what is my gamer tag. Boxenberger, that's his gamer tag. I don't have a made up name, you know.
No, don't need it. I'm in that because I'm part of the community. Yeah, I don't see myself as something exactly something special or anything. I'm just a guy who loves gaming and loves to talk about gaming and who wants to play games with others. That's why I do this. Yeah, that's it. And to be honest, I would find it way too exhausting to pretend somebody to be somebody I'm not. Right. I spend like you see, if I make a video, it takes me like 6 to 8 hours, depends a little bit on the topic. I can't spend that much time pretending to be someone I'm not. I am part of 2 podcasts each and every week, so I spend like at least 4 hours in those, 2 hours each, plus usually I guess in 1 or 2 others, like today on yours. So I spend like another 6 hours a week in podcasts. I can't do it. I can't pretend I'm somebody else. What you hear is what you get. That's me, and it's glad if you like the content I do. If you like listening to what I have to say on podcasts, and then good. If not, that's also fine. We are all entitled to our opinions. And that's actually the great thing, that there are different opinions out there. There are different ways on how you can see things and think about things, and that's why I love that podcasting community. That's why I love the community to just come out and say how they see things, and that's what I enjoy about this hobby. That it's not just gaming and play games itself. It's also the content creation thing has also become part of this hobby. You know what I mean? So yeah, I can't do that being a fake. That's just not who I am.
Right. Now, moving right on along throughout Boxenberger's great life as a gamer. Now Boxenberger finds the love of his life, and right there, we're not even going to talk about when you get your kids. We find the love of your life, and Boxenberger still puts the love of his life number 2 still with him. So the wife marries the gamer and knows that his second love is gaming. How did that work out? Because sometimes, man, it's hard being a gamer and having a woman on your side. You know, it's hard sometimes having a wife.
It's hard. You don't want to neglect her. She wants attention.
That's right.
Rightfully so. No, that's why I fell in love with her. She has always been supportive in what I do enjoy. She knows I enjoy gaming, and she knows it makes me happy, and she knows my YouTube channel makes me happy, and that's why she's always been supportive. That's one of the reasons I fell in love with her. We are together now for 11 years, married for 7. So yeah, still love her to this day.
Yeah, man, I understand about having that wife that understands that you're a gamer and things like that, and very supportive and stuff as well. You know, like
absolutely, she knows. I need. Sometimes I just need my time. I'm going down into my man cave, and then she knows. Okay, now he needs his break, and she's fine with that. That's just cool. Obviously, it got a little less gaming time when I became a dad. You know that kids take up time, and actually that's when I dropped out of competitive multiplayer. I actually gave that up because you know it better than I do. Competitive multiplayer really takes up a lot of time. To get good in games like Gears just takes up so much time. I still play a little competitive here and there, but not that much anymore. Not the way before, like I did before I had kids. So obviously you have to make compromises, sacrifices. But because obviously I always want to put my family first. As much as I love gaming, I love my kids more. That's just the fact. And so yeah, I'm glad I have a wife who actually allows me to balance the things out. And yeah, everyone needs something to get his mind off of things and of the seriousness that you sometimes have in real life. So I really love her for letting me be the gamer I am.
Hello, Boxenberger.
Hey.
I had to get you on the spot, man. That's my wife.
That's your
wife. She did it for me, man.
Nice to meet you.
Look, you know, that's another thing, man, and that's good to know because, hey, like you said, man, it's a wind down for us. Like you said, as you get a family, gaming becomes more of a wind down situation. You know, time is of the essence. You gotta the family's first. You gotta put your fatherhood in. You gotta put your husband in. You know, you gotta put the man in the housework in. and you're taking care of your family. So that's a good thing. Now that you got kids, Boxenberger, what's one of the best things about being a father, being a gaming father? And what are your kids little still? Are they middle age with the 10?
4 and 5 years old now.
Oh man, you got so you're a hero to them, man. You're a hero.
I still
There's nothing you can do. Dad is the best gamer in the world right now.
It's the best. It's the best age to be a dad. Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with them already, but you're still their hero.
You know what, Boxenberger? It's funny that you said this, man.
Yeah.
Because I take balls from my son sometimes, right?
How old are your
kids? One's
kids?
playing basketball now. He's 10, so he just won him a championship at the YMCA, so he's feeling himself right now and all this stuff, right? So every now and then I get my sons run with me. My other one, he's a Fortnite player, so sometimes I can't get him to run with me or walk with me. But I'll get my 10-year-old walking with me one day. And it's funny that you said that because he says, Dad, you remember? He was like, man, he says, man, I've been with you since the 360. He was like, the 360 was my very first console. And he was, I said, yeah, man, that's where you started at, the 360. He was like, yeah. He was like, now we got the Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X. He was like, but man, I remember when you used to play the Gears. He was like, and I started playing the Gears too. He was like, he said, I wanted to be like you. I just wanted to be like you and learn the game. And I was like, yeah, man, you learned it. And he was like, you remember? He was like, you remember when you finally let me play with you? And he was like, you remember? And you was on Mixer. And I ended up getting more kills than you at first. And you had to look and you was like, oh, wait a minute, my son. Yeah, I had like 12 kills. You had like 9. And I started laughing. And he told me something. He was like, he says, Dad, it's funny. He said, because I remember when I wanted to play with you. He said, because you don't know, but like when you would leave the room and you would walk away or something, he says, to me, I wanted to touch that console, touch that controller. I would run and grab that controller and just start acting like I played it because you touched it. I said, what? He was like, yeah. And he says, and when you was gone out of town, I would get it. And then he started laughing. He said, and I would try to turn on the Xbox and thing. He said, because I wanted to be like you. And I was like, man. And he says, man, when you let me play with you, that was the biggest moment of my life. Like, wow. I know. He was like, man, it made me. He said, you talk good about me. I said, man, you're my son. He was like, yeah, but he was like, the way he was saying it, he said, like you inspired me to like video games. He was like, you was one of the best. I would tell my friends about you in school. He was like, it was crazy. He was like, because now he was like, when I'm playing, I was looking at it, grabbing the controller. He was like, man, I put the headset on. He was like, this is what Dad is going through. This is what Dad has so much fun. And he was like, man, you made gaming fun in the house. All of us play games. He said, except for Mom. She's always, but that's gonna change when Halo comes out. Mom's a big Halo fan.
Cool.
Oh yeah, man. But
I wish my wife would play Halo with me. No, I convinced my wife the other day to play It Takes Two with me. Yes.
Oh, me and my wife,
we're getting there.
We started the house with Halo. My daughter,
awesome.
My oldest daughter was born November the 4th, 2004, bro. The day that Halo was coming out, midnight release in GameStop in Memphis. It was an early release, and so I was like, it really was supposed to come out on the 5th, right, to everybody. But if you had it already pre-ordered and had that midnight release, you got on the 4th. My daughter was born on that day, bro. Seriously, it's crazy, bro.
That's crazy,
Halo, yeah. The Xbox gaming culture and Halo is in my household with that. So that's like a story that I always hold up. It's funny, man.
It is.
You got Stubbs in the building, man. Shout outs to Stubbs.
Yeah.
Stubbs is another one, Stubbs is another one,
I know. We chat a lot in the DMs on Twitter. Shout out to him. He's a really great dude. He has also a fantastic YouTube channel. This is a perfect example of what we were talking about earlier. Yeah, you don't have to have these thousands and thousands of subs to have a great channel. Subs is the perfect example for that. Yeah,
that's right. It's
Absolutely.
It's like
Yeah, man.
right here, right here.
But-
Distinctive Seven said it's quite therapeutic, you know.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
community just brings it, makes it more beautiful when you have the community. You know, it just makes it more beautiful. You meet people, you form a relationship, you form a friendship that can
Yeah.
last over years, man. And you never ever lived in the same place that this guy lived, but you lived on Xbox.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Man, I met so many people from all around the globe there. It's so crazy. When I think about well, you remember the Halo Infinite beta, yeah? You also played it.
Right.
I was at a party with like 12 dudes, yeah, from all over the globe. We had one guy from India, from the Netherlands, the UK, the US, from Canada, from Mexico, from Australia. So it was crazy how gaming brings us all together. It doesn't matter where you're from. We're gamers. We play and enjoy the hobby together, and that's what's so great about it.
That's so true, brother. That's the definition. You
Yeah,
said it.
absolutely.
On top of fun, that's it. Fun has no limit. It has no description. It is what it is, and it's here for everybody to enjoy it. It's just, and that's what we try to do. We try to today. Thank you for doing this, man, because you embodied the essence of the chat room on Xbox. Like I said, I tried to bring that feeling of just the Xbox, you know, just the feeling of it. And I really appreciate you, Boxenberger, man. You're a stand-up guy, and we're getting to the end of this interview. So I'm gonna ask the last question. So, Boxenberger, as of now that you are here, man, and you're making a great impact in our community, and it's well deserving to let you know that. What are the things that you see today that inspire you, that you enjoy the most out of the community, and what are you looking forward to in the future as far as the game that you are waiting to see to play?
Okay, what do I enjoy the most? You know, it's seeing how other people's enjoy the hobby. Let me elaborate real quick on that, because you know, when Forza 5, for instance, came out, Forza Horizon 5 came out a couple of days ago, I went to Twitter. My entire timeline was full with people sharing screenshots, mentioning how much fun they have to have with that game. And I've seen it over the entire year. I really saw, ever since the Series X and S launched, a lot of the people in the community moved away from the which console is the better console discussion. It's still out there, but not to the same degree. We are talking more about games and what we like about them. Let me give you another example. When Death's Door came out, my timeline was full with people just talking about how much they love the game and what they like about it, sharing out screenshots and whatnot. And that's really what makes me happy, because that's what I like to do myself. I like to talk about the positive stuff in the gaming industry, and I see that more and more often on Twitter. People just enjoying gaming, sharing their love out, sharing their passion out, and that's really what makes me happy. And I think that's why we are, as a gaming community right now, in the best spot we've ever been. Because we simply enjoy the hobby on all platforms. Yeah, on every platform, gamers can now enjoy GS games, and that's really the good thing. And to your second question, what do I look forward to the most? In terms of games, or how did you mean that? The game I'm looking forward to the most, or
Yeah. What game
Yeah.
are you looking forward to play in the
I mean,
future?
short term, obviously Halo. Can't wait to play it.
Right.
Short term. But taking that out, because that's out in like 3 weeks or so. What am I looking forward to the most? I think from the Xbox game studios, it's probably Avowed. To be honest.
Okay.
We talked about it earlier. I'm a big RPG fan, and Skyrim, one of the best games ever made. And if you think about how good The Outer Worlds was, I'm really excited to see how that Skyrim and from Obsidian is going to turn out. Yeah,
There you
because
go.
Obsidian has always had this unique way of telling their stories, this unique way of how they mix together the RPG elements into the quest design. That was always something very special that Obsidian does, and I can't wait to see what they can do with proper funding, proper budget, and enough time. And that's going to be allowed. So that's definitely one. But I also want to mention, obviously, Fable. I think Fable was during the 360 days my most beloved Xbox IP. I love Fable.
You're right.
It hits all the right spots for me. So, and given how awesome now Forza turned out, I'm really pumped to see what Playground Games can do with it, with this IP, and where they're taking it on technical level, on a world building journey. I can't wait to see how that game turn out. Obviously, so much, so many other games I could also name. Yeah, Perfect Dark, Hellblade 2, you name it. There's so much coming that where we can be excited about. But since I am that big RPG fan, obviously that's those two, and then Starfield. I mean, come on. Everyone who followed my channel knows I made so many videos about Starfield. Obviously, that's also something I'm looking forward to. So the thing is, there's really so much to look forward to that it's hard to pick just one game. You know what I mean?
Right. It is.
Yeah. So that's
it is right now.
Yeah, it is. It's never been more excited. It's never been more exciting to be an Xbox gamer. I mean, come on, they have like.
Why does that phrase
18?
never get old?
No.
Why does that phrase never gets old?
Because it's true. Because it's really true. I mean, they have. If you just think about some of the facts, they have announced, or we know about like 18. I think 18 or 19 first-party games that are in the making. And I'm just talking the first-party games, not the second-party deals. Yeah, I'm not including games like The Stalkers, which is also Xbox exclusive, but it's not first-party. Simply first-party games.
Trump says pick Gear 6 as well, and he's laughing.
Yeah. Obviously. Yeah, it's what I mean. You could just pick any of the studios. I also want to see what the Indiana Jones game turns out to be.
Oh yes, bro. Gosh.
So,
Distinctive 170 has a good question here because I don't know. Has anybody heard of Starfield have a co-op? I don't know that answer.
No. We really don't know. Todd Howard actually got asked if there will be some sort of multiplayer in it. The only answer was like they are not ready to talk about that. So, we don't know. But to be honest, from all we understood, or I got so far from interviews with Todd Howard, with the game director, and everyone else involved in it, it sounded to me that it is going to be mainly a single player experience.
Right.
But it's just me assuming. So who knows?
Right, because we don't know. Yeah, exactly. They're not telling us everything. They're not telling us everything. But we know what we know so far. No word has been on that as far as co-op for Starfield people.
Yeah, and I mean, Todd Howard directly got asked, how does it compare to Skyrim? Is it Skyrim in space? And he said, yes, it's Skyrim in space and all the right things. So that was his answer. Yeah.
I got a question, man. And this is for the chit chat room too. Is Chorus coming out this year, man?
Yes, man, in December. It's coming in December.
Dude, think about this.
Yeah.
We got Forza Horizon 5 right now, which is going to flow right into December. Okay, but
crazy.
Forza's leading the way, right? And congratulations to Forza Horizon 5 for 8 million. Dude, listen.
8 million.
I already think the game is already 10 million as I'm speaking right now. I'm just thinking Microsoft right now, and it's beautiful marketing, right? The game is already over 10 million. That's my opinion. And I'm thinking Microsoft is just gradually throwing out the numbers because it's beautiful. Go ahead and hype it up and keep these numbers rolling all the way up to Halo Infinite. Way to go, Microsoft. I think that's the best thing to do. And another thing, don't show anything. You guys are doing the most beautiful aspect of gaming cultural hype is to keep the view count on video games at a minimum. That creates the hype, and then let the people get it, let the people experience it, and then let the people talk about it. That's how it goes.
That's best advertisement. That's the best advertisement you can get is when people go out and just talk about how much they enjoy the game. You cannot get a better advertisement. It's what I always call in my videos the Game Pass effect. It's when the regular gamers, you, me, everyone in the chat here, we go out on social, we just talk about how much we enjoy Forza, how much we enjoy Halo or whatever. And then the game is in Game Pass, and the other gamers don't have that entry barrier of buying a 70 or 80 euro game. Yeah. And
to be honest, those big screens, they only gonna look. The good thing about a big screen is if you're playing a single player game and it's a walkthrough or something that's not very fast moving, then you got you on the big screen, good. But when you're playing the top-notch games, like, and this is the majority of the games, this is just facts. Battlefield, Call of Duty, Fortnite, PUBG. If you're gonna play Gears 5, if you're gonna do the Halo Infinites, you ain't gonna play that on those 75, 85-inch TVs. It just doesn't work that right. So when you get it down about I'll say the biggest for that would be 65 topping it. That's at the top. 60, 55 is perfect. 48 is perfect, but right in that spectrum, if you want to be competitive, those are the screens that fit perfect for you. Now, like I said, even PC, even monitors are getting bigger because they know that 49 inch is a sweet spot. So I guess on down the line, I'm going to upgrade to a bigger screen TV, but I'm going to use it more for my movies and stuff. But I'm going to keep my gaming down a little bit. I'm get a nice little setup, get into the next generation of 120 aspect, and work it from there, because there's a lot of great innovation that has already came out that I think now the newer TVs aren't going to pretty much do anything more spectacular right now, because 2.1s are going to be like the normal now. It's almost there. I think we got one more like 2022 TVs, and then that's it. I mean, you're not going to really once you get to 2.1, there's really, unless you're going for 8K, but that's what I'm saying. 8K, it's so limited right now that it's not even a seller. It's not even
to be honest, I always say I don't know whether we need 8K. Before we spend the computational resources on getting an 8K resolution, I'd rather have better particle effects, better lighting effects, better texture quality, stuff like that. Exactly. That helps my image quality way more than going from 4K to 8K.
No, it does. Exactly. Because and then let's just say what Boxenberger said. If you're getting an 8K TV, that eliminates 65 inches. 60 inches, any 55. You got to go 85, man. That's your minimum starting point. Oh, 70. Because 70, about 70. 75 and up. 75 to 85. Because if you go anything lower than 75, you're not even getting the full effect of your 8K, because there's not enough pixelation on the screen for it, to give you that much. Because you got to have a certain number, right? It's so many billions of pixels to even get you that 8K. You know what I'm talking about, Boxenberger.
100%. Yeah, that's definitely not the way we should hope the industry goes for. We need other things like right now. We need better animations, better physics simulations, better particles, better stuff like that. Yeah.
And that's right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So. And that's where I hope that we will focus on now with the computational resources. We are at 4K right now, at 120 frames per second. So let's keep it there. And now let's go and actually improve the graphics and
where we're at
and simulation aspect. Yeah. So yeah. We will see. I think we all know that we haven't seen anything that is remotely taking advantage of all that the consoles have to offer right now. We're still really early. I've said it multiple times in my videos. I'm super excited to see the lineup of games next year. Next year, we get a lot of games that are actually the first true next-gen games. Yeah, we have Stalker 2 coming out in April. Yeah, first Unreal Engine 5 game. Yeah, next-gen only console, only on next-gen consoles. Redfall only on next-gen consoles.
You're right.
Starfield only on next-gen consoles.
No more talking.
That's when
that's exactly where I want to be. That's exactly where I want to be. We got to get it. Great move, Microsoft. Great move. Listen.
Yeah.
I've been preaching to people, invest. We can't keep going forward and keep trying to make games on older platforms when it's
listen, the thing is, they don't leave anyone behind because they have now xCloud on the Xbox One consoles. So even if you can't find one, because let's face it, the reality is out there. If you want to buy an Xbox Series X, it's hard. It's not easy to find one. Yeah, availability is still an issue. It will continue to be an issue throughout 2022. So there are simply gamers out there that can't get another one. Others can't afford it. It's expensive. It isn't a cheap investment. You have to put down the $300 or $500 depending on which console you're aiming for. Especially with the pandemic still going on like crazy and people still dealing with unemployment and whatnot. Yeah, I love that Xbox is providing options. We all have now the options to stream the games, the next gen only games. You can play, if you think about this, dude, you can play on your Xbox One that you bought in 2013, the Microsoft Flight Simulator.
This is true.
Right now. That's the truth. And when Starfield comes out next year and will be that next gen only game, yeah, and you still can't get a new console, you can stream it via xCloud to your Xbox One console, and I love that. It truly doesn't leave gamers behind. Is it the same experience then if you have the actual Series X under your TV? No, probably not. But it is good enough for you to still experience that next gen game, and that's really the cool thing. No one gets left behind.
Nobody gets left behind, man. The power of the cloud, one of the keys to this to Xbox success. Right.
Absolutely.
There. I kept this up because you are exactly right. Distinctive 170. Now it's all about, and it goes back to what Boxenberger is saying. We're here. We just need to improve. Well, the improve came. It's all about the Dolby Vision now, the sharpness and quality in everything. That's the key word. Exactly. So let's try to help people out. So moving forward, people, you want a TV that's going to be able to give you all the qualifications of HDR. So from Dolby Vision all the way down to HDR Pro. So that even, HDR 10, HDR 10 Plus, Dolby Vision, HDR Pro, or whatever else it is, But make sure if you have Xbox, please just make sure you get that TV that can do Dolby Vision, because you don't know what you're missing. That right there takes care of your gaming visuals and everything. That's it. I love the fact that Microsoft went in with this company and partnership, because Dolby Vision and Microsoft has been partnered for a while now. We had this thing in our headsets when they did their sound testing thing with Xbox, and they let us see the difference in what we were missing. That was awesome. That we actually had an app where we could actually go in and turn the app on, and we could hear the differences from what we've been hearing to what we're going to be hearing if we had Dolby Atmos. And it's insane to think that I have a console now that is Dolby everything. Dolby Atmos for sound, Dolby Vision for graphic fidelity. It's ridiculous, man. It is quality.
Absolutely. The quality is amazing. I think Dolby Vision does more than if you have again 180 or 4K in stuff. It does more for the visual quality, and that's what we need to focus on.
Because it's its own format. I keep telling people that it doesn't matter. It doesn't even matter at that point what your TV is, what the specs are. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Dolby Vision is its own thing. So all it needs is a screen. Once it's on the screen, it's Dolby Vision quality. It doesn't even matter anymore. And that's what I keep trying to tell people. And that's the great thing about it is if once you get a TV that has Dolby Vision and you enable it, you're good to go, man. What I want to say is, Boxenberg, here's what we're trying to say. There isn't no degree of quality. If you got Dolby Vision on your TV, and I don't care what brand it is, if I got a Dolby TV on it, we got Dolby Vision. It's not, there's no Dolby Vision better than the other Dolby Vision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true.
But hey, man, listen.
Yeah,
we reached our mark, Boxenberger. I wanted to give you an extra hour in, and I want to say, man, thank you, brother.
Thank you.
All the way from Germany, across from the United States. A special thank you, giving you all your flowers, man. As you can see, you mean a lot to the community, man. The Chit Chat community recognizes you and giving you a lot of respect, man, and that's good to see. Thank you, brother. Thank you for coming in today, giving me a little bit of my time, get to know you better. We always laughed at our stuff and supported our stuff on Twitter, so it was only right for us to do this, man.
Yeah.
Anytime that you're looking for a guest or somebody to talk to, man, you can always reach out to me, brother. The favor is vice versa here.
Sure
and
will.
like I say, keep doing what you're doing, man. Shouts to those that have helped you along the way to get you your voice heard, and now you're just doing phenomenal work, man. On your channel, it's like,
Thank
man,
you.
the stuff that you make, the stuff that you break it down, and you're very in detail on what you say. Is very good, man. I'm like I said, I'm a fan of your work, and thanks a lot, man, for showing up, brother.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you so much. That truly means a lot, and I really want to thank you for the invite. It's been my pleasure to be here. Like you said, we've been going back and forth on Twitter for a while now, so it was awesome to actually directly talk to you, and I had a blast here. It was a really good evening, a fun evening I had, and I really appreciate it. And also want to say thank you so much for the big compliment and the encouragement. That truly means a lot. Like you said, I also started very small with 1 sub. Now I am a little bit above 4,000, and I couldn't be more grateful for everyone who supports me along the way. Still, I'm so humbled by the support that everyone gives me, and I couldn't be more thankful. So yeah, and again, thank you for having me on. It's been a blast, and we have to do that again.
Oh, no problem, man. Anytime, brother. Just reach out, man. Like I said, vice versa, man. It's echo. Listen, you don't have to be major to do major things, man. Everybody out here that supports us, the small guys, man. You don't know what that means to us, and you don't know how much we are appreciative to have that support. Like, we don't look for nothing, man. This is just out of pure passion and enjoyment, and to see people to tell you to keep going, man. Y'all don't know what that does to people like us, man. So special shout outs to the community, special shout outs to the Xbox community that's really, really helped me in everything that I've done. And so, man, we're gonna get out of here, y'all. Remember, keep it gaming, chase the one up in life. Everybody be safe out there, man. Be safe, man. Thanks to know that everybody is doing okay. Gaming is as strong as ever, is bringing people together. And listen, man, this is the year to enjoy your Xbox, man. Xbox is just killing it right now on all aspects. I can't wait for the 15th to celebrate the 20th anniversary with my great community of Xbox and with Boxenberger as well. Thank you all, man. Countless of times. Thank you all for the support. We're out of here. God bless each and every one of y'all, man. Thank y'all a lot for everything that y'all do. We're out of here. Boxenberger, you be safe, man.
Thank you, guys.
Shout outs to Germany's own.